Hello students, welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. In today's video, we are going to discuss about a recent clash that has erupted in front of the global media between the US President Donald Trump and the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy. So, in this White House clash that everyone has seized, whether Trump has insulted Zelenskyy and what now is basically is the outcome of this entire meeting and what we can expect to be in the future between the Russia-Ukraine crisis and war, let us try to understand this in more detail. Now, to give you the brief context of this particular topic, in the recent meeting held in the White House between the two presidents, US President and the Vice President, that is Trump and JD Vance, have berated Ukrainian President Zelenskyy over the war in Ukraine. Both of the leaders have accused him of not showing gratitude after he challenged Mr. Vance on the question of diplomacy with Russia's Vladimir Putin. The argument in the Oval Office was broadcast globally because now the Trump has made a custom where whenever a meeting happened between two leaders in the White House, earlier most of the time it used to be a closed door meeting. However, now the entire meeting takes place in the front of the media. Now, obviously, as a result of this clash of war, a clash of words that we have seen, it led to the rest of Mr. Zelensky's White House visit being cancelled. And also, he was expected to deliver a joint statement with American President Donald Trump. That joint statement was also cancelled, and now it has put into a question about how much US can be trusted as far as the war in Ukraine is concerned, how much the US will still support Ukraine in its defense against the invasion that Russia began somewhere in the month of February 2022. Now, in this context, what we see is the change in the American stand, which is very different from the Joe Biden's presidency. It was during his term, the Russia waged a war in Ukraine. So in this context, the American Vice President JD Vance has clearly stated that for 4 years, US, we had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir Putin. And despite all these tough calls, what has happened? Putin has went on and invaded Ukraine and destroyed a significant chunk of the territory. And thus, he believes that the path now toward the settlement of the conflict or end of the conflict is not anymore through the war. Rather, he believes that the US should change its approach, and US actually is changing the approach in the Trump's administration, where the path to peace and the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy. It is only after this statement by Vance, Zelenskyy has challenged him about the merit of diplomacy with Russia, who has violated ceasefire agreements many times before and earlier as well, which has basically set the ground for the clashes that we have seen in the words or the word of exchanges, the war of words exchanges that we have seen between all the delegations here. Now, also, if we try to understand about this, the Trump, what does Trump want? Now, we know that in the inaugural speech after taking the oath of presidency of the United States, the Trump has clearly stated that he wants to leave a legacy of a deal maker or a peacemaker as far as the world is concerned. And he has hinted it even before also that as soon as he becomes the president of the United States, his first focus will be to end the Russia-Ukraine war. And he has several times also talked about the Israel-Hamas agreement, ceasefire agreement that was signed, and he had taken entire, we can say, the entire Israel's Hamas ceasefire agreement is because of his dealings or his policies. So similarly, now he has given a statement even after the, we can say, the negotiation, or we can say the dialogue between the President Zelenskyy and President Trump. He went on a press conference and said that what he wants is an immediate ceasefire. And also he has warned Ukrainian President Zelenskyy that if you do not want to make peace, you will lose the support of America. Now, Trump also says that he believes the Russian President Vladimir Putin, who launched the invasion of Ukraine 3 years back, is ready for the peace deal. And earlier Friday, Trump has, as we discussed, cut the meeting short, and he even has said that currently it seems that the Ukrainian president is not ready for peace or ceasefire with the Russia, and that is why there is no point of dragging the meeting further anymore. And whenever Zelenskyy is ready, he can come back in White House. They'll have a discussion and they'll talk about the future points. So Zelenskyy was meant to be making also a full White House visit to sign a US-Ukrainian deal for the joint exploration of Ukrainian mineral resources. Earlier, Trump has stated that one of the major interests that US has is in the critical mineral reserves that Ukrainian ground or Ukrainian region has. And as a part of post-war recovery in the US brokered peace deal, it was going to play a very, very important part. But now, because of this clash of words, this entire agreement also seems to be put in jeopardy. Now, the point of contention that we can understand, if you try to think that why the meeting was ended shortly after it began, why there was no further any we can say constructive outcome from this meeting. That is because of the differences in the opinion between the US president and the Ukrainian president. And the first point of contention is that Ukrainian President Zelensky wants that any kind of ceasefire agreement should be backed by a security guarantee. Now, what do we mean by the term security guarantee? It states that if Russia, after signing of ceasefire agreement in the future, if it violates it and again launches a fresh attack on the Ukrainian soil or Ukrainian territory, in that case, the global powers led by US and possibly European Union, or more precisely, can see the NATO members will be able to intervene, will be able to fight and join Ukrainian military in struggle, or we can say in counter strike against the Russian military or Russian forces. And this is something that Zelensky do not want to budge from. And this is where US President Trump has stated that such kind of agreement takes a lot of time, and it is better for you to sign a ceasefire agreement now and save a lot of lives. You can stop flying a bullet by signing ceasefire agreement as soon as possible. So the security guarantee is a concept, or basically we can say is the term around which the point of contention lies around, and unless and until that is solved, we cannot expect any constructive outcome from any kind of deliberations or meeting between the leaders. Also, during the meeting, President Trump has directly accused Zelensky that he is going to incite a World War III if we do not sign ceasefire agreement. In this context, we can directly look at the statement that was given by President Trump, where he has said that you are playing cards, you are gambling with the lives of the millions of people, and you are gambling with the World War III. As a response, Zelensky asked, what are you speaking about? And again, Trump has reiterated his previous point, that you are gambling with World War III. And what you are doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country that's backed you far more than a lot of people said they should have. So this is something that again we can see differences in the opinion between the leaders. Now, in this context, while the meeting was going on, Donald Trump was asked about the reporter that what if Zelensky is saying is true? What if Russia signs ceasefire agreement today because they want a respite from all the sanctions? They want to again recoup the strength of their military, and what after a few years they can launch the attack. And there has been instances before that which was the point made by the President Zelensky as well, where it stated that in 2014 also they have signed an agreement, but again after 8 years they have violated that agreement and they launched a fresh strike against the Ukrainian territory. So what is the guarantee that it will not happen in the future? And when this question was asked, Trump became angry. He has stated, what if anything? What if the bomb drops on your head right now? Okay, what if they broke it? I don't know. They broke it with Biden because Biden, they did not respect him. They did not respect Obama. They respect me. Even he has not spared the Republican President George Bush as well, where he has stated that the Russians have violated agreements signed during the times of George Bush presidency because they did not respect him, they did not fear him. On the other hand, he has said that he will not break, especially referring to President Putin, that I don't know what happened in the past, but he is certain, he is having a firm belief in Russian President Putin that he will not break any kind of agreement that he signs with Trump. He wants to make a deal. I don't know if you can make a deal, referring to the President Zelensky. So this is entirely his argument and point of view as far as the violation of ceasefire agreement is concerned. Now, obviously, this stern discussion and comment and the we can say crash exchange of words that we have seen between the two leaders have evoked a lot of reactions, not only from around the world, from the major leaders of the different countries, but even in the US domestic, or you can say within the US politics as well. For example, the world leaders and US lawmakers have reacted strongly after this exchange, and the confirmation which led to Zelensky's White House visit being cut short, it also has sparked a wave of reactions and concerns over the future of US-Ukraine relations. If we talk about the Russian invasion toward Ukraine, it was believed and it has been accepted by the president of the Ukraine, Zelensky, as well, that without American support, it would have been very, very difficult and challenging for the Ukrainian soldiers to hold their line and hold their ground. So obviously, US commitment, US role has brought Ukraine on we can say on equal relation, or we can say equal footing as long as war is concerned with the Russia. So in this context, talk about the very well known Democratic leader of US, that is Chuck Schumer. He has stated that Trump and Vance are doing Putin's dirty work. Senate Democrats will never stop fighting for freedom and democracy. Not only the Democrats but also the Republican leaders such as Don Bacon also has stated that it is a bad day for America's foreign policy. Ukraine wants independence, free markets, and rule of law. It wants to be part of the West. Russia hates us and our Western values. We should be clear that we stand for freedom. So this is something that is very interesting to see, because not only Democrats but even Republicans have shown support for the Ukraine. And again, if we talk about the Ukrainian leadership, obviously they have defended the stance of Ukrainian president. In this context, what Andy Sibiha, who is the foreign minister of Ukraine, has stated that he has the bravery and strength to stand up for what is right. He stands up for Ukraine and the goal of a just and lasting peace. We have always been and will continue to be grateful to America for its support. Now, this is very, very important, because even during the meeting, JD Vance has alleged that Zelensky has not thanked the President Trump administration. He has disrespected the Donald Trump himself, and he has not shown any kind of gratitude toward America, which has been rejected by the Zelensky. And even after the meeting, he has given a statement where he has said that thank you America, thank you for your support, thank you for this visit. Thank you, again referring to the POTUS, that is Donald Trump, Congress and the American people. Ukraine needs just and lasting peace, and we are working exactly for that. Now, if we talk about the major reactions from the European powers, because you know that if we talk about the war, if it again become intense in the future, the region which is going to be impacted most is the European Union, because America is far, far away from the zone of conflict. So in this context, the two major European powers, one is France, other is Germany. So France, and here the Emmanuel Macron has clearly stated that it is Russia which is aggressor in the present context of the war, and Ukrainians are the aggressed people. And he has defended the decisions taken by the United States, the European countries, the Canadians and the Japanese and many other allies, where they decided to help Ukraine and sanction Russia 3 years ago. And also he has accepted that continuing to do so is the right way. And again, the outgoing we can say president of Germany, he also, or we can say in Germany the term that is used is chancellor. So German chancellor, he has stated that nobody wants peace more than citizens of Ukraine. That is why we are working together to find a way to lasting and just peace, and Ukraine can rely on Germany as well as on the Europe. So this is a massive solidarity that again was resonated in the entire European world from many, many different European countries who have shown support and solidarity with the Ukrainian people. And we can look at some of the statements given by other major countries of Europe, such as Spain, where Pedro Sanchez has stated that Spain stands with you. Donald Tusk, who is Prime Minister of Poland, Poland is a country which is considered to be the most, we can say, strongest or staunchest supporter of Ukraine since the war. He has also stated, dear Zelensky, dear Ukrainian friends, you are not alone. Similar statement we can see from the Irish Prime Minister as well as from the Swedish Prime Minister. And again, after the meeting, when the meeting concluded between Trump and Zelensky, Zelensky gave an interview to the Fox News, one of the major news media channel from the United States, where he was asked that whether he believed that he should apologize to President Trump about the exchange of words. And here he has said that he will not apologize because he believed that he did not do something bad. On the other hand, he also has shown what you can call as a positive optimism, where he states that he believed that Kyiev's relationship with the United States could be salvaged. However, he agreed that such exchange of words should not have taken place in the front of reporters. It would be difficult for Ukraine to hold off invading Russian forces without American support. So this is something that has been accepted by the President Zelensky as well. So we'll have to wait and watch and see that what happens in the further round of negotiation, because after the conclusion of meeting, Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni has stated that it is now time for United States, European Union countries and the Ukraine to hold a fresh meeting. That is very, very important, and that is very, very required. And on the other hand, we have to understand that even if we talk about European Union, it's not that all countries are with Ukraine or are supporting Ukrainian stance. Hungary is what you can call as a exception, where the Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban, who is also considered as a ally of Trump specifically and Putin, he has stated that the war should end. It is the brave who make peace and it is cowards who make war. So obviously he has hinted toward the way how Trump wants to end the war with and sign the ceasefire agreement as soon as possible. But again, we'll have to wait and watch and see what the future holds for this entire region as well as the entire world also. So that is all for this particular video. If you like the video, please hit the like button, share it with your fellow aspirants, and then subscribe to our channel for more such content. Thank you.